I want to pick your brain, Lorenzo, and talk about a question that is very important to me, and I want to get your perspective on it. So, why should we focus on product pages? We talk about product pages. Are a lot of the work that you and I do are on product pages. But why do they matter?
Because how am I going to buy a product if you don't give me the reason for buying a product on the product page? Where else are you going to give me the reason to buy the product, right? On the category page? No. On checkout? Maybe on the homepage, maybe, right? I've seen some homepages where they have like why shop from us, or our selling point and stuff like that, but those are more like company focused type of selling points. Product page is where you're telling me why I should buy this product.
Yeah. No, I think that's correct. And to add to that, I believe that the the tension for the buyer, the stakes for the buyer are pretty low when they're on your homepage, on the category page. It's basically their window shopping. And so there's no anxiety. So, they're just, there's no tension for them. The product page, the user knows what happens when you click on add to cart. They know how that story is ending. So suddenly now the stakes go up. And to me, conversion opportunities always happen at moments of anxiety. And so if the product page is where the anxiety is coming, or beyond the product page is really when, the transition from product page to going beyond is where all the anxiety is. That is where we need to kind of focus our attention. Also, from a architecture perspective, paid search, the way it's structured on Google Shopping, for example, is your ad directly leads to the product page. It doesn't lead to the home page, doesn't lead to the category page, unless if you actually program it to do that. Most default settings lead people to the product page. So not only is the product page in that scenario your most important page, it's actually the first and only page that the user is seeing. So really, for all practical reasons, your product page is your entire website for this type of buyer. So it really makes sense for you to kind of really focus in on the product page. And one of the criticisms that I hear about, and it's a very interesting observation, people will say something like, well, my user flow is from the home page to the category page to the product page, and I already have like a video on the homepage that talks about what makes us special or blah blah blah. So they've seen the video, so I don't want to repeat that on the product page. And I think there are a couple of points I want to make over here. Number one is that a lot of people are directly landing their product page, so they actually don't even discover the homepage. But the other thing is that a lot of times shoppers aren't even paying attention to the content that you have until they get to. So what happens is, in my view, is that when someone first comes to a website, they don't even know if you have the solution to their problem. So they are actually kind of like, almost like when I look at session recordings, what I find is that people come to a website and they very, very quickly navigate. They kind of move around and they very quickly navigate. And then they come to the product page where they come to a grinding halt. And because they realize that there's no going further. So very fast movement prior to the product page, grinding halt on the product page, which means they're not paying attention to that content that you had on your homepage or your category page. So my recommendation is that you can either do it conditionally, where you can set up a rule that says if someone doesn't click on the play button for the video on the homepage, to repeat the video on the product page. But if you don't want to go complicated, you can still reference the video, or you can have a call to action for the video. The point I'm on the product page. So the point I'm trying to make is that don't be shy. Don't make the mistake of saying that we've already spoken about something to the buyer, that we don't need to talk about it again. Remember, the product page is the final opportunity that the user you have to convince the buyer. So even if they've seen the video, make the video available to them so that they, or any other asset, I'm using video as an example, make it available to them on the product page so they have the option of interacting with it again. They can easily ignore it if they don't want to see it. So to me, those are the reasons why the product page matters.
Yeah, and also like a couple of other thoughts I had. One is, just because somebody's on a website doesn't mean that they're actually actively physically on the website, right? Like, how many times do you have a window, like a tab open, but you're actually talking to somebody else, right? So, imagine you're on the computer, you have the tab open, you go talk to your girlfriend or your wife, and then you come back, right? There are good chances that you might have forgotten about the pitch or whatever the information that you read 5 minutes before, because now something else entered into your life, which was the conversation with your girlfriend, your mom. So I actually think that repetition, in this case, is a great way to make a point, because again, not all the visits are the same, right? Like, we're being distracted all the time. Like, I'm even like, especially on mobile, right? We're always on the go. We're always distracted by notifications on social media. So don't think that if you read the one information the first time, then you will remember it until the end of the actual funnel and the end of the transaction. You need to be reminded, because your attention is competing with your surrounding.
And this is a really good point you bring up. I think this is the difference between a great marketer and an average marketer. I think the wrong thing to do is to literally repeat it exactly the same way over and over again. A good marketer figures out a different spin and a different way of communicating that same idea, because oftentimes we learn, the way I learn or the way you learn is not by hearing the same fact over and over again. It's by hearing the same fact from a slightly different angle, because it really clarifies learning, right? So I think it's really important to kind of put a different spin every time, and that way the user doesn't also feel like, hey, you're just literally repeating what you said previously. So I think repetition is key, and I think repeating in slightly different ways and more interesting ways is what separates a good marketer from a great one. Awesome. Thanks, guys. We will see you again soon. Tell us your thoughts on product pages. Tell us if you disagree with product pages being the most important page. And if you can think of someone who needs to spend more time thinking about their product pages and is looking for reasons why they should focus on product pages, share this video with them. We will see you with another episode soon. Take care. Bye.